Alright folks, welcome to Downstage Gaming. I am your host, Josh, and this is part 13 of our Let's Play of the Letter. That's right folks, it's it's the spooky number, so who knows what could happen here. Last time things really popped off, we had our sort of housewarming party, and basically right in the middle of it, we did get to know that we know Becca. We have a history with Becca as like children. But then Luke came and things popped off with our old friend Rochelle, who basically accused Luke of a whole bunch of things. Basically, they were having an affair, the baby was Luke's, and Luke wasn't doing what was needed to take care of it. And so I had Hannah make the decision to say, alright, we're taking a break. We had some nice times with Zachary at the end of the party there, and now we are here with the aftermath the next day. I wish the same could be said about what I'm about to do. Simple isn't the adjective I will use to describe the task at hand. I'm gonna guess this has to do with Luke. Because really, how does one tell their husband that they want to separate and say that, no, this is not a divorce? Not yet, at least. The possibility is there. But still, how am I even to explain that to Luke without him throwing a fit? Well, he's gonna... I think we need to, you know, allow ourselves that Luke will have a fit. That's pretty much a guarantee. Cutting too deeply into my sausages, I opened my mouth to excuse myself. That is, until I spied Luke mashing and stirring his poached eggs with a fork like a petulant child. He has been silent all the while, chin in his hand and elbow resting on the table. I worry that my absence after the debacle may have caused more harm than good. Well, too bad for him. It's his fault. It's... okay, yeah. Good.
I think we need a bit of a break. You know, some time apart.
At my words, he grows still and silent. I'm not quite sure whether I should be worried or not. I take it as my cue to keep talking.
It's not permanent or anything like that. Just for a while.
Just to see, you know, if life without you isn't, you know, totally awful.
In a few days, perhaps. I was thinking I can move back into our penthouse in the meantime, but I won't be moving out right away, so that I can help settle everything here. And I haven't even thought of packing yet. And I'll want to ask Johans to assign some of our staff. Unless you want the penthouse anyway. Then I'll stay here instead.
No, you take the penthouse. It'll be easier for you.
Okay, I don't like that he's going along with this. It isn't supposed to be this easy, is it? Can he really react so aloof to it?
Isn't this to your liking? I imagine that you'd like the space and independence. You'll have the bed and covers to yourself, and you can have whatever you want prepared for meals. You can even have all the wine you want, though I'd rather that you don't.
This isn't about that, Hannah.
It's never about my terrible drinking habit.
Well, it's partly that, but...
The man stops playing with his food, choosing instead to push the plate aside.
What's wrong, Luke?
He slumps back in his chair, and just stops short of putting his feet up on the table. I suspect he's wanting some wine or absinthe by now, but any sort of alcohol is suspiciously absent in his hands.
Aside from that disaster yesterday and you telling me you want a divorce, everything is peachy keen.
Okay, well, so you weren't really listening then.
Will you want me to start in the letters then? To start the divorce settlements and whatnot?
Oh my god.
Will you be seeking ways to throw me out onto the street without a penny to my name?
If I could do it, I would.
No, Luke, this isn't a divorce. I just told you this is only temporary.
But when you see that life without me is actually good, of course you want the divorce.
Are you really having a sulk because of what she said yesterday?
I am having a sulk because you believe her.
Of course.
You stormed out and now you're asking for us to split up? Soon enough, you'll want to throw me out like I'm a piece of trash.
Because you are kind of a piece of trash, Luke.
Do you think I would be this calm if I believed her, Lucille Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
Because believe me, if I did, well, it wouldn't be pretty. Besides, I know how you feel about children. It makes her whole statement laughable.
There is absolutely no way that everything she said was not true. I just don't even see how that's possible.
Sure, whatever you say.
His mouth draws into a thin line, and I can't bring myself to comment on his half-hearted reply. To me, the silence that follows feels oppressive. It only emphasizes the wall that has been built up by my obeisance and his hubris. I'm not sure what that word is. Obeisance? And it looms between us, keeping us apart.
When are you leaving? In a week?
It
No,
won't
now.
take that long to pack. After All Saints, perhaps?
Ooh, All Saints. Well, so when, that's the journal, right? Yeah. I believe we're on the 30th? Is that, no? When? So, no, we're on probably the 29th. Okay.
I'll go and inform the staff of this.
He only nods. I'll be lying if I said that didn't disappoint me. Now we get a nice little... I expected more resistance. The man could be stubborn as a mule if he wants to be. Perhaps I can leave now, just to spite him. But that isn't like me. Even if this does end in a divorce, a thing we both surely wish to avoid, we can still leave on amicable terms. There's no point in making a mountain out of a molehill.
What are you still doing here?
Oh my god.
Just leave. You still have some packing to do, don't you? Go ahead. I won't stop you.
Well, gee, I don't know. Now that I hear this, Luke, I suddenly want to stay. Go ahead. And do nothing. There isn't much to do, it seems, whenever I step up to the plate and try to take responsibility for something. Perhaps because everything is already being handled by someone hired specifically for that job. And with Johannes overseeing the staff and Luke handling everything else as a whole, that doesn't leave much for me. I can't even take the job of delegation, because all it takes is a word to one of the senior staff and everything will be taken care of for me. Moving in here a few days ago may have very well been the chore that took the most effort from me. And that didn't take any real effort at all.
Yes, Hannah, go buy a mansion in the middle of nowhere. Good idea. Great plan.
Yeah, it really wasn't a... it really was not well thought out, Anna. There are no dishes to set aside and busy myself. It's all Lee's fault. If he had not, like, brought it up, this wouldn't have even happened. Any mess left behind is now nearly non-existent. To sit on a counter while eating cake is supposed to be my next plan. Let them eat cake. Alas, there isn't even one to finish off, and I don't really know what brought me to the kitchens in the first place. Perhaps that the ghoul secretly lives in the wine cellar, I don't know. It's not like I'm craving anything else, nor do I have any unfinished business left here. But there's a calling to this room. Speaking of calling, why not do just that? Might as well, since I have nothing else to do. At least that will require some effort on my part. With how cut off the rest of Lexborn from the rest of Lexborn the mansion is, and with how long it was abandoned before we moved in, having a landline is out of the question. The solution, supposed to be, are mobiles, though it isn't much considering how spotty the signal is in the area. Why would you live here? It'll take a bit of maneuvering to get even a single bar as it is. It takes a bit, as I said it would. I have to park my rear on one of the cold drawers, but that suits me just fine. Another matter that needs my effort is who to call. She who must not be named is certainly off the list. That doesn't leave much in the category of close friends who attended the party, along with the category of who else is awake at this early hour. But soon enough, I manage and the call goes through.
Hello, Rebecca Gales here.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Who's this?
Good morning, Becky.
It's your BFF, Hannah, remember?
Hannah?
I like her, like, gold, yellow Pikachu phone here.
Oh wait, how did you get my number?
You responded to your RSVP through the phone. It's all saved in here, of course. I thought I'd like to say hi and make plans and get together sometime.
And please save me from this nightmare.
Also, I'd love to hear news about your mother and father and about you, my dear. Oh, I hope I didn't wake you up.
Oh, you're good.
It's all good.
It's sports day at school today, so I was just prepping for that.
Figures that you'd be a teacher as well. I'm sure your students must absolutely adore you.
Oh no, the only thing they adore is the Fortnite dances.
Don't know about that.
Mathematics?
History, actually. Anyway, it's real nice to know you've got my number. I was going to ask for yours because Mom wanted to keep in touch.
You could have asked, silly girl. I would have gladly given it to you.
Couldn't, though, because, well, the thing that happened.
You know, what with the awkward, your husband and the, whoops.
But really, I'm sorry, though. I gotta run. School, schedule, stuff.
The 3 S's.
Is there anything else you want to say? Don't want to use the mobile while driving.
Oh, of course, of course. I shouldn't keep you.
Save me!
But I wanted to thank you for your company yesterday.
Get me out of here!
Not a problem.
I was hoping you could thank Zachary on my behalf as well. He was really kind and wonderful.
We did this little dance out in the garden.
Well, you can tell him that yourself if you want. I can give you his number.
Heck yeah!
Oh, no, I don't want to be a bother. Intruding on his privacy.
No, give me the digits, Becky.
Pretty sure he'd be fine with it. If you two are on a first-name basis and all. So his number, right, it's...
The call starts to go static, much to my frustration. A strange clicking noise drowns out most of her words, too. I can barely understand what she's saying. And the line completely dies. I can feel a headache coming along. It's just building up, starting from a late throbbing on one side of my head. The static is gone, and that helps a lot. But there is still that incessant, horrible clicking. Again, and again, and again. Which doesn't make sense. The mobile's turned off, isn't it? And if it isn't coming from the phone, then where? Looking about, I can't help but let my eyes be drawn to the hatch, leading into the wine cellar once more. That's when the clicking stops, and I can hear that crying. That familiar crying from before. Don't like where this is going. What happened the other day, when I was told that nobody should have been down there, when I purposely didn't open the hatch because there's clearly some spooky stuff there, I tried to forget it because of how it unsettled me so. One can hardly do that when I'm looking at the very thing I'm trying to forget. Somebody is crying down there again. But if I leave it alone, it simply won't stop bothering me for the rest of the day. They might have forgotten to lock it, with the party going on.
This again? If somebody is pulling my leg, I will not be happy.
Yo, honest, I am sick and tired of your pranks. Now, why are we doing this? It's just like the freaking dream she had. True enough, all it takes is a bit of a pull to open the hatch. As I look down to the cellar, a sense of uneasiness washes over me. It isn't just the sudden onset of vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness. It's suffocating. And as I look down, it feels as if it's looking back at me. Careful not to stare too long at the abyss, Hannah. I worry that something will suddenly pull me into the deep. The cry is drowned beneath the shrieks that start echoing in my head, high and shrill like nails being dragged across a chalkboard. They're all screaming, shouting at me, and I can just feel her rage. Help me. She wants to drown me, drag me down, and crush me in the very depths of darkness until there's nothing left of me. The deep abyss waits for me, for my death. They're all calling for it. This is a nightmare. Oh, good. There's a rope around my neck, and I can feel the rest of me being torn apart. And they're still screaming. I'm screaming, though it's not my voice that escapes my lips. It claws through, climbing up and forcing its way up my throat like a putrid bile. I choke and gag, and I scream and shriek all at the same time. And I'm me, but not me. Tab, just, what, Z, what? Okay, C, oh, okay, alright, X, alright, yep, okay, I get it, S. Okay, that one was not that hard. Whew, okay. Pushes me down to my knees before I'm prone and vulnerable in my stomach. It makes me tumble, and I can just feel my whole body seizing, writhing on the floor. Everything and nothing hurts. It feels like I'm on the verge of death. And if I'm not dying, I nearly wish I actually am. Oh no, it's all good. Don't. You're somehow worse than the monster.
Why are you?
Prince.
Prince? Seeing Luke, something snaps back, and I'm able to take a gasp of air at my own volition for the first time, but it felt like centuries. I would have rejoiced and cried for his name, but the pain still did not rack my body. No! No! Instead, all I can do is stare listlessly as he comes to my side and lifts me up, cradling me in his arms. He tries to get me to my feet, perhaps to take me out of here, but all he's able to do is get me to sit, make sure I'm not trashing on the floor. I can still feel my muscles spasm, limbs jerking like a puppet's on a string. Luke holds me tight, keeps me still, so that I do not hurt myself anymore. Whatever it is that happened, it has my mind feeling frayed and battered. Eventually, the pain dies down into a dull ache. My own tongue stops feeling like cotton. It's only now that I can feel the wetness on my cheeks, tears streaking down my face. A coughing racks my body, now that I don't feel like choking. And it just all feels so horrible. But I don't care. I don't care.
Luke, please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
It was Rochelle.
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
You're safe now, Hana. You're safe now.
Not safe with Luke. Huh. Well, alright, let's take a look here. Okay, so we got Zachary's stuff now. So what's up with Zachary? Diploma in digital film. Yeah, oh, he likes video games, that's good. Before his parents' death, he lived in New Jersey where his family owned a diner and a bakery. He and his older sister were orphaned due to a hate crime, and they were forced to move to England where their grandparents lived. He had loved cooking and helping out with the old diner, but grew lazy and disinterested after the incident. Did not help that he was one of the few blacks in a predominantly white community at the time. His passion for the visual arts was sparked when he found old Polaroids and home movies of his parents. Freelancing helped pay his rent, but the man had long set his sights on the indie film scene. It was during the creation of his first documentary that a robbery occurred, and Ashton was there to investigate. Interesting. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time led to Zachary being placed as a suspect, but the rookie detective helped him clear his name. That's interesting. Alright. Well, so let's take a look real quick at our branching tree for Hannah here. Just kind of curious as we go through. This one felt a little bit shorter than Isabella's. Where did we sort of hit our... Okay, so we hit our big branch here, which is interesting because it wasn't a choice that I made, which means it probably has something to do with either a way previous choice or with relationships. Oh, and that's interesting that if I had chosen to work on Luke, to work for the happy ending, we still would have ended up in a similar spot. Huh. Alright, well, we are going to take a break there then, even though I know it's another short one, and continue things on with Zachary next time. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I am been your host, Josh, and I will see you next time.